NBA officials release an official statement. The call that was made, Minnesota, Phoenix Suns, was the correct call. Incidental contact does not count. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. I want to give a special thanks to Rachel DeMita. Great job. Great job, Rachel. Rachel, I just happened to come back in getting ready for the Fever game, and she pulled up and said, you know what? I am completely shocked. I am completely shocked that the NBA has responded to the call. Completely shocked. And the way it actually read it is, this is not a foul. Thomas legally gets the ball and knocks the ball loose prior to any contact. The leg-to-leg contact is incidental once the ball is clearly loose. This was correctly judged in real time as no call, as were the subsequent technical fouls, meaning that you should have bounced her quicker and everybody else on that court would have got bounced out. But to Rachel, I just give you a salute, right? Because here's the deal, folks. Today, earlier, as some of you know, and many of you probably haven't even seen it, I just went ahead and broke down the call piece by piece, the way it actually is written in the rule book, right? Here's the deal. And this is the bigger concern, okay, because you're going to open up Pandora's box. If the league does not know the rule, and you've been making calls all along these years, you've been calling this game incorrectly, and this is shocking to me, okay? But at the end of the day, I promised you guys one thing here on the Money Mike Syndicated Revenue Podcast, really, Syndicated Radio Podcast, is I'm here for change. Like I said, I entered women's basketball in 2012, and that's when I started coaching them and getting to understand it. There's a lot of things I see, and at the end of the day, I think somebody came back and shot back at me, well, Mike, your credibility's on the line. I can't put my credibility on the line when I know something is factual, and I know everyone that's listened to me has not heard it. That's kind of hard to do. And when I look at it used to be Dick Bavetta, right? Dick Bavetta was the lead. Now you got Bill Kennedy, and I had a good long, years ago, this is back years ago, I had a good long conversation with Bill Kennedy up in Seattle, right? They have the officials there, our teams are playing, we're talking, he's doing the evaluations. But here nor there, the point in fact is, a lot of this could have been avoided if the coaches, the players, the general managers and the presidents, they got to know the rules. And here's the problem with the officials. I mean, especially, I'll tell you 100% if you look at it, and when I looked at it and observed, you got the biggest problems in the C position. And the C position is ball watching. And what do I mean by ball watching? That's the one that's got to stay in their area. They really don't get to see the ball because the lead and the trail, they got ball. If it goes to the baseline, it turns the lead down there. And if it goes back out, the trail's got it, right? So you're not really seeing the ball. You're just watching all these fouls going on. And that's why these fouls are happening, because the C position for the WNBA officials, they're weak. They're very, very weak in that area, and they don't know how to call it, even to the extent, I'll talk about it, I haven't broke this out, but I'll bring it to you, where the officials have got to step down, and you got to know how to step down, because there's a couple plays I see where officials are locked in their C position, they can't see, and then what happens is they're missing the call, which for every shot you should step down. So there's a lot of mechanics that are going on that didn't happen, but I just wanted to bring that to you. Indiana Fever, we're getting ready to tip it up. The NBA responded to Rachel. I mean, she was shocked. She was like, I can't believe they did it. But when you put it in the proper format, and I did, I just broke it down and I said, here's the deal. And I'll kind of sit it out, but here's the deal with the play is in the NBA, the incidental, and I said this with the blocks. Once they block a shot in the NBA, the play is over. You shot, I blocked it, whatever happens after that happens. It doesn't matter, right? And that's what I was saying with Alyssa Thomas. She poked the ball out of the way. She stole the ball. Everything that happens after that doesn't matter. And then Rachel brought up, well, what are you supposed to do when you have a player going that fast, full speed? Folks, that's not the accountability of the defender. The defender's responsibility is to have the accountability and to play defensive fundamental basketball. Whatever out of control an offensive player does, they're doing it at their own risk, right? And that's basically what happened is you got caught up in a play. And look at it, it happened to Caitlin, right? You get caught up in a play and all of a sudden you get injured from this, right? And this can happen. But I think the WNBA has a great opportunity now to really dig down deep, put a committee together, work together as a team between the players. It's got to be just like the CBA, but you got to put it in place because now you got to ask yourself, well, who's your recruitment? Because really your target audience for all this should be your former players who are some just finished playing. They need to come because they're going to have a better feel of the game than those who are coming off the street or from other places. Because this is tough. It's tough to call an NBA game. Man, it's even harder to call a WNBA game. I want to say again, thank you, Rachel, for sharing. Much respect, and that's a rare breed in Rachel. Why? Because she couldn't sleep. She's like, there's no way this can be right. Well, in actuality, the NBA has been playing this way for years. And now they're trying to acclimate the WNBA to play the same way. Game time. Fingers crossed, let's get to game 5. We shall find out. Appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your comments. They're being heard not only by the NBA, the WNBA, and across. Everybody's tuned in, and we are making progress. We'll see you soon.